Hello and welcome to episode 8 of Games on the Road. Our chrysalis creative endeavors endeavor to share fun games that you can play while you camp. Today's episode is about Codenames Duet and also the Codenames normal game because they play very similarly. And today's intro is just about the animals that we saw at Yellowstone today. Here are some bison, some bears, more pictures of bears, more pictures of bears, and without further ado, on to Codenames Duet. Okay, this is Codenames and Codenames Duet. They play similarly in a nutshell. So basically, in Codenames or in Duet, you're trying to give teammates clues, and I'm going to tip this down so you can see what we're talking about here. You're trying to give teammates clues so that they can guess these things. Now, in duets, you have a number of clues that you can use, and then the game's over. In the team game, where your team is against another team, you don't use these clue tokens, but the first team to get all of their clues correctly wins. And I got to get something from the box here real quick. So you'll notice that there are green, black, and tan spaces. So the black space on here is the bad space. It's the assassin. So for example, if your partner guessed chain, boom, assassin, you lose. Also, if you run out of tokens, you lose. Your goal is to get your partner to guess all the green spaces. And the way you get your partner or your team to guess is by saying a number and a word. And the number tells them how many things out there are kind of representative of the word you're about to say. And then the word is your clue. So I'll give you an example here. If I said McDonald's 2, now I might be thinking, okay, McDonald's has an iconic sign, the golden arches, right? And McDonald's serves hamburgers. So there's 2, right? And that's what I'm trying to get them to guess is, okay, McDonald's 2. I might be reaching a little bit with the sign being one of those. But let's say they said, okay, on their turn, they have to actually touch one of the cards and then you tell them whether they got the clue right. So of course, they grab hamburger right up. Okay, McDonald's hamburger, boom, we got one. We're good to go. And then they're looking around and like, oh, McDonald's is a chain of restaurants. Well, guess what? They touched that one, game over. And let's say, in their mind, for McDonald's, squirrel made sense, and they touched squirrel. Well, then you would take one of your clue tokens. You just wasted a clue token for an incorrect guess. And pretty much, that's Codenames in a nutshell. All right, let's talk Games on the Road ratings for Codenames Duet. Now, I would say that whether it's Codenames Duet, which is this 2-player game, or if you had just regular Codenames, these ratings would apply across the board. It's set up the same, it plays the same. Duet just gives you a way to play it in a 2-player collaborative fashion. And matter of fact, I would say if you had regular Codenames and Codenames Duet, all of that stuff would probably fit in the same box. For cargo space, I gave this one a kind of a wavy hand of indifference. It does take a bit more space than some of the other games that I have along with us, but I think that it's worth the space because we've played this a lot, and we'll talk about that in replayability. Table space, thumbs up. I mean, this basically this is it. Doesn't matter how many players you have for the regular Codenames one. Doesn't matter how many players you have. You just have a 5x5 grid of cards and one card to tell you what's going on and a few tokens, and that's the table setup. So, yeah, thumbs up. Time to learn, 2 thumbs up. My in a nutshell probably explain the entire game, although you may want to look over the rules as far as these tokens and some of the duet playstyle stuff. Setup time, also a 2 thumbs up. Basically, you shuffle some cards together, you lay out a 5x5 grid, put the tokens on the board, choose one of these, ready to play. All right, this is a picnic table maybe, because you would have to set something on these tiny little cards, and possibly even set something on this so it doesn't fly away. But if you can keep these cards from moving, it's set up for the whole game. So it's not like you shuffle and deal and you don't have a hand of cards. Basically, once you lay it out, the game is set up. And as long as you can keep them from flying away by either maybe setting a piece of glass on them or setting some, although I don't know how glass travels, I wouldn't carry a piece of glass with you to play games. Um, but setting something on them so that you could easily point to them and play the game. Replayability, two thumbs up. I mean, it comes with stacks and stacks of other cards so that you can always have a different board. And they're double-sided cards too, so there's different words on each side. This has a ton of replayability, and we've played it a lot. Um, Especially since it's collaborative. Once one of us or the other of us gets frustrated with competitive games, we always pull out Codenames Duet so we can get frustrated at the crappy clues we give each other instead. And as far as a two-player game, Codenames Duet it's a really good collaborative two-player game. And learning about the way the partner that you're playing with thinks about things is pretty. The most entertaining part about this is kind of after you play a game, going, What when you gave me this clue? What were you thinking?" And sometimes you were like, "Oh, that was so obvious," and sometimes you were like, "That was really reaching, really reaching." But anyway, two thumbs up for a two-player game. Now, overall, I say make room for this game. It's a bigger box. If you want to play it partners, get duets. If you want to play with a larger group, get the regular code names. Get them both just in case, because you can kind of mix and match the words. That wouldn't matter at all. And yeah, that's Codenames Duet for a game on the road.